What's up, everybody? It is your boy Toxic Boyo, and today we're going to be talking about a little game called Dragon Ball FighterZ. It is probably a game you've heard of if you're at all into Dragon Ball or fighting games, or any combination of the two. It's one of the most popular fighting games in the last couple of years. It's not exactly Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it can hang with Mortal Kombat 11, I think. Um, we are rapidly approaching the end of the third season of DLC for the game. When the character Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta comes out, it looks like that will be it for season 3 of the game. And it looks like it might be it for the game. I mean, when you look at it and you look at the character select screen, Gogeta sits right there in the middle. Like like the entire roster is conglomerating around him. Which, I mean, that's totally fine. He's the 43rd character. The roster is quite impressive at this point. The support from Arc System Works has been on a whole different level, especially out of a Japanese fighting game by Bandai Namco. I mean, when you look at Soul Calibur 6, the game kind of dropped off immediately. Tekken 7 took a long time to get to the level of playable that it is now. But Guilty Gear Xrd, uh, Blaze Blue, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, stuff like that. Arc System Works has always been really good at keeping up with their community and supporting their games to a level that is pretty much satisfying to everybody that plays them. But the question here today that I ask you is, should Arc System Works, alongside working on Guilty Gear Strive, obviously, should they focus on a fourth season of DLC for Dragon Ball FighterZ, or should they focus on a second game? There are many pros and cons towards each one. The season 4, you already have the 6 million player strong install base with this game. You don't have to risk losing customers when you're trying to put out a second game. You can just keep adding to this game, keep making money off of this game, uh, just keep sticking characters in there, and you'll get people to continue to play because Dragon Ball FighterZ is one of the most well-made, tightly knit, fun, and enjoyable fighting games to come out in a long time. However, it has some issues that could be solved in a sequel, like the net code. That's the main thing, the net code. Netcode. That's also kind of inconsistent in some ways, but a lot of that ties back into the netcode. Now, their upcoming game Guilty Gear Strive is switching to a rollback based netcode system, which I'm not gonna sit here and explain all the particulars of because I don't know all the particulars of it. But basically, um, it's going to be using dedicated servers instead of like player hosted servers, which is kind of what the delay based netcode that Dragon Ball FighterZ has is doing. If that makes any sense, it might not. Now that I've said it all out loud, but the important thing to remember is that Guilty Gear Strive is going to be using a netcode system that plenty of other fighting games already use. Tekken 7 has it now. Street Fighter 5 has it, but it's not good in that game. Mortal Kombat has it. Injustice has it. Plenty of fighting games that are already mainstream and super successful use rollback. Um, there's a couple games that don't and still got pretty popular, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I believe. Uh, it's sold a couple copies. It got obliterated by Dragon Ball FighterZ, but that's not the important thing. Um, Now, if you ask any pro or anybody that plays this game on a serious level, a competitive level, any content creator that plays this game, if you ask them what's the biggest issue, they will tell you the netcode. Because not only is it just bad in general, but there's a lot of factors that add up and making the online experience just not very fun. You have plus frames and negative frames, frame data in general on certain moves that gets completely ignored because there's a 7 frame delay in the match anyway because somebody's using the Wi-Fi from their fucking neighbor's modem or something like that, and they don't have a wired connection. Which not okay. If you're gonna be playing the game seriously, get a wired connection. But if you're gonna be using Wi-Fi, at least be close to the router. That could be nice. That would be helpful. But certain stages can cause lag, like Land of the Kais, Destroy Planet Namek. There's just so much going on in the background of those stages that it doesn't help the fact that there's already a really bad lag on the match anyway. Certain moves can cause more lag. It's just there's a lot of ingredients that go into the undesirable pie. The game is great. It's a lot of fun to play. It's one of my favorite fighting games ever made. I think it's only behind UMVC 3, but that is a glaring issue. Now, could they patch in rollback netcode? Possibly. But I think there's enough other benefits to making a sequel that our system work should focus on that instead of season 4. And I'm going to explain a couple of things that I think informed that decision. Now, there are a number of things that people want in Dragon Ball Fighters that just aren't there. Like alternate costumes, for one. That's a pretty big deal. Dragon Ball, I mean, when you get to the Super era, the characters all wear the same things. But Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, they've had plenty of outfits for years. Adult Gohan could have like a future Gohan skin if they don't want to add future Gohan. Piccolo could have his casual outfit or what he wore when he was driving. Goku could wear. Wait, what was he wearing when he drove? It might have been his regular clothes, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But there could be an option to keep Piccolo's weights on. Goku could have the no weights on that he had in the Saiyan Saga. He could have the Yard Rat outfit. He could have an armor that he wore when he was training. What else could he have? The End of Z uniform, the GT uniform, the casual outfit that he was wearing on the rest days before the Cell games. Teen Gohan could have his Bojack outfit. Frieza could have a Mecha Frieza skin. You know, Broly could have a Bio Broly or a Super Saiyan 2 skin from the other movies. We don't have to talk about that though. Cooler could have a Metal Cooler skin. I don't know. It feels a little bit interesting to me that Videl has an alternate costume option in her pigtails or her bob cut, but the other characters that actually have multiple outfits, have no such option. Even adult Gohan in the manga at this point in the story wears Piccolo's outfit instead of Goku's outfit, which he wears in the anime. It'd be cool to have adult Gohan dressed like Piccolo. And that's what his color 2 is for, but come on. And on the topic of color 2, stuff like that is really cool because pretty much every character's color 2 in the game is a reference to something. And I really appreciate and respect that. But it doesn't scratch the itch that alternate costumes would. Budokai had alternate costumes, and those games were made on a budget of like $14 in a corn chip. Now, I get that the first Dragon Ball Fighters, the one that we have right now, was not made with a huge budget. But after garnering 6 million players and however much money in DLC, there's absolutely no way you're going to convince me that Bandai would not shell them out a couple extra $1,000,000 to make the next game. It wouldn't make any sense to me to pass up on an opportunity like that. Another thing, dramatic finishes. There are plenty of dramatic finishes in the game, a lot of cool ones. But when you get to Season 3, there's been 3 added. And it's kind of disappointing. Not that they're not good. I love the UI Goku dramatic finish. I love the Goku Jiren Frieza dramatic finish. And the Gogeta versus Gogeta dramatic finishes look amazing. I can't wait to test those out in the game. But why isn't there one with Baby and GT Goku? Why isn't there one with Super Saiyan Goku and Cooler? There's some matchups that you would think would have a dramatic finish, and there just isn't one. Vegeta doesn't have one where he wins. There isn't one with Blue Goku and Frieza. There isn't one. There isn't even one with Vegeta and Boo. And I get it, right? It's not Majin Vegeta, but he can still just blow himself up to try to take Boo out. That could be a cool dramatic finish. And Vegeta dies, something like that. 16, because not even all the dramatic finishes that are in the game are canon. Like, there's the one where Bardock takes out Frieza instead of Frieza taking out Bardock, like what actually happened in the story. There's the one where Yamcha takes out Nappa, as opposed to Nappa taking out Yamcha, which is what actually happened in the story. So there's no reason that Vegeta can't try to take out Boo, and it's actually successful. Or there's one where where 16 tries to blow up Cell, and it works. or one where Tien uh is fighting Nappa and Chaozu comes out and blows himself up and it works. Like stuff like that could be cool. If they're gonna go the extra mile to give Yamcha and Bardock reverse dramatic finishes, well then why not do the same for the other guys? You know what I mean? Like Gogeta has two, and one of them he powers down to Super Saiyan 1 so that it's closer to the movie. And it's like you can do that, but Goku has two wins on villains in the same way, and I haven't seen him blast somebody into the sun yet. It's just a little disappointing, and I know Arc System Works puts a lot of time and work into this game. Hiroki-san is a blessing to the fighting game community. I won't pretend that she's not. I won't pretend that this game doesn't do incredible things for the community, but it just leaves a couple things to be desired in that way. Now, another thing that people have been wanting is more stages, because for 43 characters in this roster, why are there no stages? Why are there 7 stages? I think maybe. Why is there no Tournament of Power, Snake Way, King Kai's Planet, Kame House, Hyperbolic Time Chamber, Otherworld from Fusion Reborn? Why is there no I'm sorry, why is there no Beerus's Planet? Why is there no I'm thinking really hard actually. There's World Tournament, Cell Games Arena. Why is there no Otherworld Tournament stage? I know that's not canon, but like it would be cool. I think there's an Otherworld Tournament stage in the old games. Um just stuff like that could go a long way. Just a couple more stages, just 3, 4 more, you know. There's not a whole lot of super iconic locations in Dragon Ball the way that there are in like Naruto or Bleach or whatever, but there's enough for there to be a couple more stages. You know what I mean? At least I think so. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. There could be a Capsule Corp stage. That could be cool. There could be a future stage after the world's been destroyed by Goku Black or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe a Universe 6 tournament. I don't know. There's a lot of tournaments that happen in Dragon Ball now that I think about it. There's two in Super. Two in Super alone. Anyway. Um and then the I think the biggest question when it comes to should Arc System Works do a Dragon Ball Fighters 2 is, are there enough characters left to get potentially uh a whole another 3 seasons worth of DLC characters added into the game? And I think that depends. I think that really does depend because there's still plenty of characters like people still want Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta to be playable, Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, people want Majin Vegeta, people want Pikkon, Raditz, Whis, Super Buu, Kid Trunks and Goten unfused, Kid Gohan, Future Gohan, Toppo. I've even seen people champion for Ribrianne and Kappa, I don't know. I still want Tapion. Super 17 could be cool. Omega Shenron would be amazing. There are still plenty of characters to add that could get people interested. I don't know if I mentioned Bojack, but you know there's still plenty of characters. Demon King Piccolo, Arale if they want to do a joke character, Mr. Satan. Um, I think they already said that they're never going to do Mercenary Tao, so there's no point in worrying about that. But like, obviously, if they're going to do a second game, then you would expect the 43 characters that are playable currently to be playable at launch when that game comes out, right? So you would still need to be able to add more characters. Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough Dragon Ball characters for Fighters 3. but I think there's plenty of potential left in the franchise for Fighters 2. Mostly because they could add alternate costumes. Um, they could add a feature where you can return to character select in between matches because there's nothing worse than you hit a new rank and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna change up the team a little bit. Take your new team into ranked, you play against somebody who's pretty close to your skill level, you get beat, and it's like, man, if I was using my main team, I could have beat him. So now you just gotta pray to Kami-sama that you get that same matchup with your main team. And it's just, let me just return to character select real quick, you know? Or maybe you could select what language each individual character speaks in. Because I think Dead or Alive and King of Fighters both have that feature now. I don't know why Dragon Ball Fighters couldn't have that. Stuff like that could be cool. You get better netcode. There's still plenty of potential for more characters, more stages. Just I don't know. I don't want to seem like the kind of Dragon Ball game fan that just played Budokai as a kid and played Raging Blast, and I'm spoiled to character rosters with 150 slots on it, including made up shit like Super Saiyan 3, Broly, and Vegeta. Looking at you, Raging Blast too. I just know from a fighting game standpoint that there's plenty that can still be done with Dragon Ball Fighters. And I know that the best way to go about that is a second game. And even if they don't do a second game, if they don't do a season 4, if this is just Dragon Ball Fighters and this is what we have and we finish on Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, it'll still go down as one of the best fighting games in history. So I'm not going to be upset. I'm actually going to be quite pleased, quite happy that I got to experience this game and that I got to become more acquainted with the fighting game community as a whole. I love it here, and I plan to stay, especially since Guilty Gear Strive and King of Fighters 15 are coming out this year. So I'm not going anywhere. But I pass the question on to you guys. Do you think Dragon Ball Fighters should wrap up here and just be completely done? Do you think ArcSys should focus on a season 4, or do you think they should start working on a second game? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below. And Ninja Gaming, as always, for more videos from me, go ahead and click somewhere on the screen, and I'll see you very soon.